Hello. Welcome to the Smile Revolution Show. And I am Mindy Fradkin, also known as Princess Wow. That's WOW. We raise awareness to the healing power of a genuine smile. Now, let's see here. I have an exciting show today. Roland Mousaa, who I've been talking about. This is my 109th show since last March in lockdown in New York. I've been mentioning him in almost every show because we wrote a whole album. Well, we wrote 4 songs together for the Smile Revolution, and he's been a big part of helping me in my life with the Smile Revolution. And so you're going to get to meet him today. If you've never seen my show before, if you have, this is my first time having him on the show. Who's on here? Lori. Happy Saturday, Lori. Thanks for joining live. Appreciate it. And So this is the first of my series of people who knew Pete Seeger, the folk icon activist. Not everybody knows who Pete is. It's just like, depending on your generation, or if you're into folk music or you're not. So I always have to say that in case you don't know who he is. So he was somebody who I was close to as well because of Roland. Thank you, Roland. And so Laura's on too. Okay. Hi, Laura Molitor. And and there's Abby Share. Hi, Ab. Anyway, so thanks for joining live. I always appreciate whoever can make it live. And let's see. So I'm going to start with, I got to show you all something, actually. This was from Easter. I got this at Trader Joe's. Isn't that cute? It's a hibiscus. Hibiscus? I don't know. It's not a hibiscus. It's a flower that's going to bloom soon, but it matches my hair. Of course, I had to get it in lavender. I don't even know. It's some kind of a flower. I don't even have it in front of me. Well, anyway. So today, my first thing I'm doing is talking about yellow, because yellow is a really, my friend Leslie's on too live. Wow, this is great. Good to see you too. And Don is on live. Thank you. Lotus, I don't know. I know it's not a lotus flower. I'll have to tell you all later. Let's see. I can't think of it right now. So anyway, I'm talking about yellow today. I felt like, the reason why is that I just had lunch with Jane Applegate, my friend who's a film producer and coach. And she likes to garden, and she gave me these gorgeous flowers. Aren't they pretty? And so I just felt like talking about yellow. And so I had to put my yellow hat on. There they are. And let's see, everything. And I'm wearing yellow shoes. Yellow shoes. David Gideon too. Yellow's very happy. And then I've got, and a lot of things with smile are yellow. And I've got this in yellow. Okay. And I'm looking at all my yellow things here. A little teacup in yellow. And what else? I've got all these yellow things. Oh, my tiny book of pleasures, yellow. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about yellow. Let's see. Yellow from the universe of symbolism.com. Yellow, the color yellow speaks of friendliness and approachability, symbolizing warmth and honesty. Yellow is the color of light, hope, and encouragement. Okay. Luminous, glowing yellow. Yellow is inviting and makes us feel immediately welcome. Yellow can symbolize warmth and openness. It's a great choice for making a statement of being comfortable with yourself. It's the color of radiant sunshine, joy, happiness, and optimism. I love yellow shoes. Yeah, anybody ever have yellow shoes? Well, I love this song. Stevie Kalinich and Dave Humphreys wrote the song Yellow Shoes, which I can't get out of my head. And so I had to get a pair of yellow shoes. I had yellow sneakers, and now I got another pair of yellow shoes. And I love my yellow shoes. You should try it sometime. It is very uplifting. And let's see what else. And then yellow, hold on one second, there's more here. A yellow ribbon tied around a tree is a sign of waiting for a loved one to return home safely, often from war. Did you know that? And then Tony Orlando, the singer, sang a song asking a lover to tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree after 3 long years apart. Okay, so anyway, I wanted to share that. I think I'm going to feature different colors because I'm so into rainbow, anything colorful, of course, as you all know. Okay, So I'm just looking for everything yellow. Okay, so then here's a picture of me. If you think that this is new for me to wear color, this was me in the 1990s. Philip Seltzer took this picture of me with a wig. There's my yellow, well, I have rainbow socks, and there's yellow in them. Okay, so let's see what my next thing is. And then I've got, okay. All right, so I always have to do at least one smile quote. Peace begins with a smile, Mother Teresa. She does a lot of quotes about smiling. And then the tiny book of tiny pleasures. Now, Roland will be on soon. Okay. It's a beautiful life. Studies show that expressing gratitude makes you happy, not only in the present, but also in the days, weeks, and months to come. Whether you pen a sincere thank you note or simply write down moments of positivity, the results are the same. Study participants experienced increased happiness 1 month after their letter delivery. And those who recorded positive life events for a week left the effects for 6 months. And that's Irene Smith and Astrid van der Heist. And then Richard Skipper got me this book, When Action Follows Heart, 365 Ways to Share Kindness by Susan Spencer. Today's date, April 10th. Make a coupon for a casserole and give it to a friend or neighbor to redeem whenever she could use a night off from cooking. Susan Avery. Hi, Mindy and Roland. Hi, Susan. Susan's visiting us too. Good. Okay, great. Now, age doesn't matter unless you're a cheese. Catherine and Ross Petras. Okay. Scholar Joseph Campbell said, trying to hang on to youth, trying to hang on to what was really great 20 years ago, throws you totally off. You've got to go with it and seek the abundance that's in the new thing. If you hang on to the old thing, you will not experience the new. Scholar Joseph Campbell. And then Mr. Rogers, I always say this, one of the greatest men to ever live, said, one of my wise teachers, Dr. William F. Orr, told me there's only one thing evil cannot stand, and that is forgiveness. And then I have another few quotes, and then I'll have Roland on a minute or two. Okay, Alan Patton said, there is a hard law. When an injury is done to us, we never recover until we forgive. Name something, this is from time4thinkers.com. Name something that someone did to you or to someone you love that still makes you feel hurt or angry. Forgiveness is freedom. What do you think you need to do to get there? And then Meister Eckhart, if the only prayer you said in your whole life was thank you, that would suffice. Have you ever just decided to feel grateful in a disappointing situation, then had something fabulous happen? And another Mother Teresa. None of us can do great things. Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. Have you ever helped someone in a big way by doing something small? Did that small thing clearly express God's love? And Mother Teresa again. I didn't even realize I had all these quotes here. I love all religions, but I'm in love with my own. Have you ever had a spontaneous, delightful exchange about God with someone from another faith tradition? Now, God, I know not everybody it believes in God. I know that these days. But God, if you just think of it as God is love or truth or all God is good, that's really what we're talking about. It's a spiritual quality. It's a spiritual qualities. Okay, so let's see. Lori Tower said, love that quote from Fred Rogers. I know this whole book is amazing. So I had to get it. And I love quoting from anything that he thinks is amazing. Okay, so let's see here. And we're just having fun. And there's yellow. Okay, we're just having fun, right? We need more fun in the world, don't you think? And I found this recently. I love that. Isn't that cute? It's a keychain, but I just thought that was fun. Okay, now I think that somebody wants to say hello. B wants to give you a big hug and a smile. And someone else wants to say hello, and then we're going to bring Roland on. Here's Mindy, Miss Mindy. It's from a picture of me. She always has to get in the action. She likes to say hello and give you a big smile. It's based on a photo of me. Oops. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so this is my first of the series, People Who Are Close to Pete Seeger. And I have Richard Barone on Tuesday at 4 Eastern Time. And then on Earth Day, I have Roland again, Guy Davis, and Katama, who is Pete Seeger's grandson. So that'll be fun too. And I already told you that. Anyway, so here comes Roland. Hi, Roland.
Hey, how you doing? Don't forget the song Coldplay, Everything Yellow.
Oh, Yellow, that's right. And then Donovan, Mellow Yellow.
Oh, Mellow Yellow, yes.
Donovan, right?
Yeah. I want you to know that I'm here living on the reservation, the Turtle Mountain Reservation, in the Catholic Church with Sister Leo, who worked with Mother Teresa from India.
You never told me that.
Well, she just came.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
yeah.
That's neat.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to say.
Yeah, and there's Susan Avery's here.
Yeah.
I know. It's
cool.
like, yeah. So, anyway, okay. So, welcome to my show. I've been talking about you for a year, almost every show, because we wrote the Smile Revolution song together, right? And we wrote other Smile songs, and you've been a big support. And when I first met you in Woodstock, you said you deserve help. When I had my radio show in Kingston, the Smile Revolution, you said, I'm going to get Pete Seeger and Richie Havens on your show.
Buffy.
And you did, and you became a big support for me. Thank you. And they all came on my show, plus Arlo Guthrie. That's all because of you, Roland. So thank you.
Buffy St. Marie, was she on yours?
Buffy, yeah, I think I got Buffy though, but you were friends. I know you're good friends with Buffy too. Hi, Roland. Wait, Abby Shear, how's it going out there? And Lauren saying hi, Roland. And Lori Towers, everybody's saying hi.
Yeah, we're going to go to Austin in July.
Oh yeah, right. He's going. Laura, Roland's going to Austin. She's going to talk to you in July. Hello, Roland. Leslie's on. Leslie and Jack.
Wow, Leslie, I love you all. I miss you.
Okay, so anyway, Roland. Okay, so you're out in North Dakota.
Yeah.
For the last, I think, 2 years, right?
Yeah. We're working on a.
Yeah, Laura's excited you're coming to Austin.
Yeah, we're going to be coming there performing. The Catholic Church is going to put a concert on. I think what's his name, Michael Smith will be there. A number of well-known people may. We can talk about it later.
We'll talk the focus. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Actually, I'm going to have you on again in May about your life. We're going to touch on your life, but we're mostly focused on Pete Seeger today.
Yeah.
In this interview. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay. So when did you first meet Pete?
What happened was that I had learned about Pete in St. Vincents Orphanage, where I was raised in Denver, Colorado. And the song came on, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And the Kingston Trios recorded it. And Pete had told me that they didn't know that he wrote the song. And then he had to call them. And then they found out that he wrote the song, so they gave him the copyrights. And then we learned more about Pete Seeger at the orphanage from our art teacher, Diana, who became my foster mother and who played more Pete Seeger. And so from what happened was that in the civil rights movement, I learned early in life. And so they were going to put me into Vietnam, and I became a draft dodger and hitchhiked to New York to meet Pete Seeger. And it was at a church. It was at the Catholic Church on 93rd Street. And we performed together Blue Waters.
Which we're going to play. I'm going to be playing all of that. Yep. And that's one of Pete's favorite songs of yours.
Yeah. And so the family ended up loving me very much. And I was adopted. I think it was around 68, 69. This is when it happened.
Right.
And then so I refused to go to the Vietnam. And then the sloop boat came out in 69, and I lived on that boat. And so they wouldn't find
the Clearwater boat.
The Clearwater boat, yeah.
Not everybody knows what that is. So can you explain what that is?
Okay, it was we would go up and down. We would sail up and down the Hudson River, protesting against the sewage systems that was polluting the rivers. and they would throw us out, of course, the town. But in 1972, the Clean Water Act bill was passed to clean up all the rivers in America. The sewage systems had to be changed, and so what happened was that it stopped all the pollution in the rivers of America. And then that's when the eagles started coming back, and blue herons, and on all the animals from all over America started coming back into the rivers because they were being cleaned. And yeah.
But wait, but didn't a whole bunch of people build the sloop Clearwater?
Yes, they built it up in Maine, and they brought it down in '69.
Okay.
They sailed down in '69. And on that, when we first started working, Don McLean and I believe Nick Seeger, many people were on that boat. Kurt Patrick, who I went down into the civil rights movement, Pete Seeger, I, and Kurt Patrick in '69. And we worked with the civil rights movement down there.
And it was dangerous down there at the time. You said
very dangerous.
You slept in churches, right? You slept in
churches. We had to live in the Baptist church, Baptist churches, and it was in Shreveport, Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama, Selma, all these places we had to actually. And then I ended up landing in a newspaper with Pete and
right.
with Reverend Kurt Patrick and the people who worked with Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
But immediately I had to get back up because the Army was looking for me. And so
right. And you ended up on the newspaper, right?
Yeah, down there. And so right, I had to, so then we went down there again.
Okay.
So
okay. And okay. And then hold on one second. So anyway, what happened after you met Pete? So after that, after that, you ended up on the Clearwater, living and working on the Clearwater boat, right? To do draft.
Yes.
But you lived back and forth between McDougal Street and the Clearwater, right? You were in the village too.
Yeah. What happened was I first went into the village. I hitchhiked into the village, and I was very fortunate actually. They wouldn't let me into the music clubs because they said I was way too young, and I was 18, and
you looked really young. Yeah,
I looked really young, so they didn't believe me. And then it was Gil Robbins, who was managing the Gaslight, and Gil Robbins was the father of Tim Robbins, the famous actor.
right.
And I knew the family, and they really were a major help to me. And I got to meet them back at Madison Square Garden, Tim Robbins and everybody, on Pete Seeger's 90th birthday. And then
you opened up the show with your native people, and you sang Indian Prayer.
Yes,
which is one of Pete's and Toshi's favorite songs of yours too. Blue Waters and Indian Prayer.
Yeah. Yes, that's what happened.
Well, Roland, Pete wanted you to just sing solo to open up Madison Square Garden, his 90th birthday, but you wanted to have the natives.
Oh no, yeah, I couldn't have done that. I couldn't have sang it.
But I'm saying, but he would have been happy if you just sang it by yourself. But you wanted to get more of your native people. Well, he was happy about it, though.
That's because you in the native nations they speak for themselves, and when the elders speak for themselves, you have to. They speak for themselves, so that's the reason why we put them up on the stage. And then also Joanna Shenandoah. Many of the people, Carlos Nakaya, Joseph Firecrow, David Amram. David Amram was the only one who was not native because he was the man who had helped our native nations from the very beginning all the way back to '69. And he was always helping our native nations.
No, I know. And he was like an honorary native.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know about that. Yeah, so
he deserved that. He deserved that. Everybody wanted him on there.
Now that's great, Roland. Okay, and then hold on one second. So you did that, and then what about Pete? Had an electric car. You want to talk?
I learned. Okay, we're working on a wind project that I can't talk too much about, but it's an invention. And so many people are involved. And what we're doing is it's a very exciting project. And the Native Nations are behind us. The Catholic Church is behind us. United Nations is behind us.
All right, but we're talking about the electric
Yeah.
car with Pete.
Yeah, and he taught me, and he basically taught me the electrical appliances for the invention, and I really, really am very grateful for him teaching me that.
But he had an electric car, right?
He had an electric truck. Yeah, I read one.
Electric
Yeah.
truck. I mean, years ago, right?
Yes. So I was able to work with him on that.
Okay. And then also, but what was it like? So over the years, I mean, I know you worked with him over the years. What was it like working with Pete?
Well, Pete was I was very, very lucky because Pete was a very serious and a very person involved in the environmental organization. Started it with the Greenpeace came out of it, as you know. Many other environmental
Clearwater organization. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a very serious, very family man. He was a very decent man. No drugs, no drinking.
Right.
And I had been heavily, involved with somebody like that. And I knew that you can always trust him. He always played um, the concerts for free. He refused to accept any monies, and that was the greatness about Pete, and that's why in Madison Square Garden so many people showed up for his show because he had helped so many people from Dylan on to so many, you name it, practically. With Johnny Cash, with Donovan, Buffy St. Marie.
A lot of people started, but no, but when he was younger, he got paid for his concerts because he needed to support a family. But that I think
with the Weavers, if I had a hammer, all the what do you call it, residual rights, from the songs would be coming in. He lived on. He told me he lived on the song practically. One of his songs was "If I Had a Hammer." Just that alone was able to,
he made a lot of money on. He probably.
I mean, that was just one of the songs. There are many songs. Yeah,
well, he had a lot of hits.
Yeah.
So he got a lot. Yeah, I know he got money from a lot of his hits. But I mean, when he was on that blacklist, he was blacklisted.
Yeah.
And at that point in the 40s or 50s, right in the 40s, I mean, he had to work at camps. He couldn't play at concerts. He needed to make a living because he had 3 kids and a wife. But I know that he played at camp, right, and all that. But that was knew him, of course. But
well, the FBI let him play at camps, and they could care less. But what they didn't realize, us kids grow up, and when we grow up, guess what? So what happened? A lot of the kids, and that's where Woodstock really showed up, because a lot of people were politically aware. And Pete said he should have been there at Woodstock. He missed the opportunity.
Right.
Realized that he says, Roland, he says, you were right. Because I was there at Woodstock. I was very fortunate to meet a lot of people in the beginning. Before Pete, actually, I had met with Dylan. I had met with Hendrix and Janis Joplin. Many.
You were friends with Dylan.
Yes, I was very fortunate because Columbia Records wanted to record me. And thanks to, Tim Robbins' father, who had introduced me. I was very fortunate in many, many, many ways. And I recorded in Columbia Records, but we couldn't release the records or anything.
Because you were a draft dodger. And so Lori Tower said, turn, turn, turn. That was a big hit for Pete, right?
Yes, it was. It was from the biblical Ecclesiastes.
From Ecclesiastes in the Bible, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
He just rewrote. He took it.
Yeah, he just wrote the music for it, yeah.
And he recreated a little. I mean, it's a little bit different than in the Bible. He just rearranged some of the words and did the music.
Yeah, yes, that's what he did. And then the famous band recorded it.
Birds.
Roger. Yeah, the Birds. Yeah.
And other people, a lot of people. It's a lot of people covered it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna. We were having a little bit of technical issue with your guitar, so. Roland was going to play live, but we didn't. Anyway, there's a little bit technical. So I'm going to play one of his songs
Yes.
I'm going to play Blue Waters on my phone here. Hopefully, let me know if you all can hear it. It's recorded with Pete Seeger played on it, right? On this, on your
Yeah. Pete Seeger played on it in the recording. Tom DeSisto, I believe, engineered it. Yeah, and produced it. Yeah, and I think Richie Havens is on it also, who recorded the song of mine, actually.
Yeah, and it's Richie Havens recorded the Indian Prayer that you wrote with Tom.
Yes, also, yeah.
That's on Mixed Bag too. And anyway, so the title of the album is In the Eye of the Great Spirit. And Roland's a painter too, and his paintings on the cover. So I'm going to play it, and let me all know if you can't hear it. Okay, I'm going to play Blue Waters. Now, Blue Waters, you wrote this when you were hitchhiking.
Yes.
Were you in Colorado hitchhiking to New York City?
I was sleeping in the cornfields in Ohio, and one morning I woke up, and this most beautiful scene on planet Earth I'd ever seen, and it was so amazing that that's how I wrote the song.
Which is incredible. It's like a Woody Guthrie.
Yeah, I think New York Times quoted it as Woody Guthrie and what men.
Woody Guthrie. I know. Well, it is like a Woody Guthrie because you were hitchhiking across, and that's when you wrote it. All right, so here it is, and everybody, I hope you can hear it. Okay, hold on one sec.
And a beautiful sky, red for us, gold flowers. That's where I love to die. Up the high Rocky Mountains, down the low rolling hills, over fields, valleys I was traveling. Then the sun began to shine, and my eyes began to see everything on earth was made for you and for me. Stars above was my roof, earth below was my floor. Now what more can one ask for? A river, a lake, clean and a flower bed to sleep on. It's everything on earth was made for you and for me. Now blue water, green valley, oh land.
And David Amram.
Oh, David Amram's on it too. Okay, I hope everybody can hear this.
Gold flower, that's where I love to die.
Okay. Lawrence,
okay, yeah. That's good.
So when one pollutes the sky and we all can't see the sunlight, like an eagle for my rights I will fight. So this land, it is my home. With my life, I'll keep it free. 'Cause everything on earth was made for you and for me. Now blue walls, green valleys, oh land, and a beautiful sky. Red forest, gold flowers. That's where I long to die.
All right, good. Okay. I love that song so much. And Pete, it was one of, whoops, wait a second. It was one of Pete's favorite songs, and Toshi's.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to.
Anyway, I just want to show you real quick. I got this thank you note from my friends, my friend downstairs. Her granddaughters send me gifts.
Oh, great.
I got that. Anyway, so that song is amazing, and the recording.
Pete was he related it very much to "This Land Is Your Land," and Pete had told me that he had sent that song to the Department of Education, the government, and they loved it so much that they printed it all over the school books, and that's how Woody became famous. And it was from the Department of Education.
The land of
This land is your land. Yeah.
Okay. Abby said, "Very sweet song. Is it copywritten?" Yeah, you have a copywritten, right?
Oh yeah. It's under Frank Music, which Paul McCartney owns, actually.
That song is okay. I thought that was Indian Prayer is with that.
The Indian Prayer is with that also.
Is that too? Blue Waters. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Anyway, the whole album is amazing. Your whole album is incredible. In the Eye of the Great Spirit. So anyway, and Roland, you'll be on next month, and then we'll figure it out whether I show your videos or we'll figure it out. But anyway, that's why I wanted them to at least hear one of your songs, because there was like a tech issue with your guitar today.
Yeah.
And, let's just see. Hold it 1 second. Okay, so anyway, I know that Pete Seeger, he always loved anything with Native Americans from the time he was a child, right? He was always fascinated by natives.
Yeah, I was in the American Indian movement, and I think 68 with Floyd Red Crow Westerman. We did an album. You know, I worked on with his first album, the first Native American Indian album. Floyd, of course, was very famous in the. He played a chief in the famous movie Dances with the Wolves.
Right.
Yeah, and he had introduced me. He brought me to all these different reservations, and we were in the civil rights movement. And I introduced him to Pete and Dylan and everybody.
Okay, good.
And it was quite fascinating, where Pete got heavily involved in the American Indian movement with the Leonard Peltier move, and which of course now we're happy that Deborah Hanlon, who is the head of the Interior Secretary of the Interior, she's now heading the with Joe Biden, and they're going to work on getting Leonard out now.
Oh, really? Oh, good. I didn't know that. And I know Leonard Peltier grew up on the Turtle Mountain Reservation, I heard.
Yes, I know many of his relatives here. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's really great. Yeah. And then Pete, okay, so the Indian Point nuclear plant is near here where I live in the area. And Pete taught you all about the nuclear, and it's going to be closing.
Yes.
It'll be closing.
Yeah. When I first came, I learned all about the nuclear plants, and of course we had the big warnings, of one of them breaking down, and as we know what happened in Russia, and we also now know happened in Japan, and we almost had it happen here in Pennsylvania. And thanks, to the man who brought down that rod,
Okay.
the
Now,
nuclear rod.
how did the Clearwater Festival start?
Well, we started it in Beacon, New York, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger with a lot of well-known performers, and it ended up in Peekskill. And
Well, it started what, 69?
69, yeah.
The Clearwater Festival, and it was really small when it
It
started.
was very small. Yeah, it was very small.
And then
but
it
got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah.
And it was raising money. It was fundraiser
fundraising. Yeah.
To help the environment, right? And you played in a lot of the festivals, I know, over the years.
I just played and had fun, enjoyed it.
Well, you played, yeah, and a lot of well, they've had so many famous people play over the years.
Yeah. So it was, but it just grew and it turned into be the biggest environmental. It turned out to be there were about 10 big concerts, and in all of America. And one of the big 10 concerts was the Clearwater Festival.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it was one of the biggest. It's been one of the biggest.
Yeah, and one of the biggest, if not the big, I think it was the biggest environmental organization. And again, like I said, a lot of the like Greenpeace just spring out of yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think Tim's still in charge of the Greenpeace.
Okay, and anyway, how is the Seeger family? I know you've been close with the Seeger family since you were a teenager, since '69. How have they influenced your life?
Well, 68. Well, I mean, that was all my life. I mean, I was a little child when we heard Pete Seeger.
Yeah.
Michael rowed the boat ashore. So many songs. We were, kids, camp songs and with Pete. It's just it just went on. And then I first heard Audetta. With the she came to Denver and performed for us, and I was so fortunate to perform with her at the Metropolitan Museum of Art at Blue Waters, and perform with her at the Badavon, So, we it was so, as a child, so she was a big influence with Pete Seeger. And so it just, when I got to meet her, I was just amazed, how, me being raised on Pete Seeger songs, and I just knew Pete is all my life, I guess,
well,
until he died.
What was it like being with Pete?
Again, like I said, he was
very inspiring. Well, I was with him too because of you. Thank you.
Yeah, he was very
very inspiring,
very sincere.
Yeah, and also just so, I mean, you two were always about history. He's always into history.
I always tried to get Dylan back with Pete. And our last chance was with Leonard Peltier. I actually wrote the letter, and that's my handwriting. And Pete signed it, and we sent it to Bob, but Bob still didn't, because I don't think Bob was
Well, you tell them about the story. What happened with Bob and Pete?
Yeah, he was not. That. The difference between Bob and Pete was
Bob Dylan, or he's talking about.
He was not as serious as Pete was, in the civil rights and the environmental movement, and that was very sad about the whole entire thing. And that's the reason why they really couldn't get together anymore.
Well, what happened at the but what happened when he went electric? Talk about that. A lot of people don't know about what happened.
Basically, what happened was that Bob.
At the Newport Folk Festival, Roland, a lot of people don't know the story.
Well, I mean, the truth is that when he went electric in the Newport, it was it was so loud, it was hurting Pete's ears and also other people. I think his father was there, and it was just hurting a lot. But he wanted to really.
It was Pete's father
to unplug it. Pete actually wanted to outright unplug the what do you call it, and they wouldn't even let Pete to unplug it. It was just quite a story behind that, and but Bob really didn't want to be in the civil rights movement. He was just interested in the singing, with the songwriting, and But it turned out he really wasn't sincere as Pete was,
Okay.
and it became kind of really sad, very sad.
All right. So you tried to get them back together because you were friends with Bob Dylan, and it wouldn't
Yeah,
work out.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of problems. I mean, with Phil Oakes, a lot of people, it was very, very sad. It was a very when you went on, hanging out with Bob. There's a lot of crazy lunacy went on happened there.
Around him, yeah.
Yeah, with Bob and so many people. I just kind of like didn't want to, and but at least I got to.
Yeah. Well, Richie told me that you were a big part of the folk scene back then.
I guess I was.
Because you were hanging out.
Yeah.
Columbia recorded your album and everything. So anyway, Marianne Marichal said that so many school and camp songs were Pete's folk tunes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, they were. Yeah. And so we were just very, very, very lucky. I mean, he continued it on with Abby Yo-Yo, and it went on and on. It's just so wonderful, how he was such a gigantic help to everybody, Bruce Springsteen, everybody.
Yeah. He helped so many musicians get out there, like Donovan. I read Donovan's biography, and he said he credited Pete with really helping so much.
Yeah, he helped so many people. He's a major inspiration to. I mean, like even the famous movie. When I was talking to what do you call it? Somewhere over the rainbow. What's her name? Julie Garland.
Yeah.
And they had even mentioned it to me. About Pete was a major boost for that song to get onto the movie.
Well, he was friends with the songwriter, I think, right?
Yeah, Gilbert, I think, yes. And they called Pete actually to see if they could get one of his songs on the movie. And he said, you should listen to Gilbert's songs, and that would be more appropriate. So, I mean, Pete Seeger was a major influence in so many ways. We'll never even know all the ways that he was such a major historical event, in the music world,
Oh, and just as a person, because I was around him as well, and he helped so many people, and he even helped with the Smile Revolution, right? With
the song.
We did a Smile Revolution with the song. He recorded with the Smile Revolution song.
Yes.
And also when we did the Smile Revolution concert in Bearsville Theater.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yes.
He headlined it.
Yes, he headlined it.
He did it because of you.
He did it because of the Smile Revolution. Remember he bowed down to your car one time?
Yeah, our
because
car.
he loved our, that flower car. No, he was definitely he got it.
He didn't at first. It took him a while to figure out what I was doing.
Yes.
But no, when I interviewed him one time, remember I interviewed him, and he was almost going to get ready to leave because he said, I don't think I'm the right person for this interview about smiling. And then I started praying. I was like, okay, what do I do? Because I don't want Pete to leave. And I told him how it started on my dad's deathbed before my dad died, his last smile, and how that changed my life. And I told him the story.
Yes.
After I told him, he got it.
Yeah, he got it. He finally got it.
He said maybe you learned something by learning how to smile, because he was told by his parents, you smile and you just be honest. You smile when you feel like smiling. But then when I told him the story, he understood, and I actually noticed that he was smiling more in public and after that, I noticed it.
Yeah, when I first got to New York, my first jobs were like washing dishes for anybody, and but when I would ask, I would always make sure I smiled, and when they see that I smiled, they kind of like, oh, I like this guy, so they would hire me and when I wash dishes, I get something to eat, and I was living in the streets at the time when I first got there.
Okay. Susan Avery said one person can make such a difference. And then Susan Avery said Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz, yes. That's a movie, yeah. Yeah. And I was so fortunate, yeah.
You're right. And then Marianne said, what happened to the flower car? Well,
Oh,
what happened to the flower pot? It fell apart. It was like we kept getting stopped places. We have to have it towed. So eventually, it went to. I just sold it for like hardly any money and really cheap because it just kept getting. We kept getting stopped everywhere because it kept stalling out. We got stuck in New Jersey once. Remember, we had to get it fixed.
yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, I just had to get another car.
Well,
But it
Allen
really was
Ginsberg,
a car. It was a
Allen
great.
Ginsberg and Kinsey, was it Kesey? You know, their bus kept broken down. Their flower bus kept broken down. It kind of reminded me of,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So anyway, that was when we were married. We're not married anymore. He's
Yeah.
my husband. If anybody's interested, I mean, I don't know. Nobody really needs to know the stuff, but I always end up saying my husband.
Yeah.
At the time, yeah, we were together at the time. So anyway, in the meantime, is there anything else you want to say about your experience with Pete? I mean, I was always so inspired and like kind of at the beginning when I met him, I was so like, oh God, he's so famous, and it was hard for me to talk. Remember, a lot of times I barely spoke around him for years because I was so frightened because he was so famous. I actually got over it, but the thing is, being with him was just so inspiring because he was so fascinating to talk to, as you know.
Yeah.
He knew so much about history, and you two always talk about history. Remember,
he created history.
Well, he created
whenever. Yeah,
but he did create history. But but he also learned. He always was studying history. He knew everything about history, and so do you.
Yes,
so
he did.
Two of you used to talk about history all the time.
Yes,
right?
yeah. And he would teach me history, so he was like my teacher, you know.
Yeah, but you used to teach him history too. You both used to teach each other history.
Yeah. Well, I was, We kept talking a lot of things about the historical. I mean, one of the things was the code talkers. I'd learned about the code talkers from World War II in Arizona, the Navajo code talkers. I had known them. I'd known about them since 1969. I met a couple of them, and then I found out when the movie came out in I think 1990s, the end of 1990s. Everybody started learning about the code talkers, and so I'd already known that about 40 years way ahead of time. You know,
I don't know anything about that. Okay,
yeah.
So I haven't heard about it. So
Pete really, we would talk about things like that. You know,
what were the code talkers?
The code talkers were the Japanese that couldn't understand. They tried to break the code. You know.
Oh, okay.
In World War II.
Okay, the code talkers.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Navajo code talkers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Susan Avery is saying Pete made a gigantic impact on history. Yes, he definitely did. Oh yeah.
And, every time, you know, like Pete, you know, all those musicians back then, Pete, he made a decision. It would go into history in the pages, you know, because it had such an effect on people, you know. And I mean, things like he went to Africa in I think '63, and then he came back with this song called Owimowe, you know, Owimowe, Owimowe. And he would be singing this song, and so the Tokens called him, and they had asked if could they record the song, and Pete said, "Oh, that's a public song. Anybody can sing that."
Yeah.
And then the Tokens came out with the Lion Sleeps Tonight,
and it became a big hit. They made millions, and
they made yes.
I met one of them. They live in one of them, at least lives in Beverly Hills. I met one of them, and they felt bad. They felt guilty because they took the song from Pete, but it really wasn't his.
Yeah.
And they made it into a huge hit, and they made millions off of the song. Yeah. I know. They felt guilty.
I mean, Pete could have copyrighted it and said that it was his.
I know,
but he refused to do that. You know, it wasn't right.
I know, but they did feel guilty, though. One of them told me. Oh well, but Pete was okay about it.
No, Pete was okay to. Definitely, Pete told him to record it. Yeah.
I know.
Oh no, Pete. Yeah.
Anyway, Roland, I think I'm going to wrap this up.
Okay, with the Indian prayer, or.
Well, you going to play the Indian prayer? I got to find it. Hold on one second. Wait.
Okay. No, you can't. No, don't worry.
Let me just find it really quick. I can actually. Wait a minute. Let me just see if I can find. Here it is. Okay.
Yeah, Pete Seeger and Richie Havens played on that one also.
Okay.
The Indian prayer. That song came from George Washington's treaty to Chief Corn Plant. And and the first few words that are out there, as long as the grass shall grow, this land shall be, will always be the natives. And that's what Oren Lyne said at the Madison Square Garden. And it was quite astounding. But that's where we got the song.
What if I told you you
Oops,
could
wait a
focus on
second.
tens
Hold
of
it. I have
thousands of
to
dollars
wait.
in
If I can do this, hold it 1 second.
Yeah, if you can.
Okay,
But-
wait. I got to get this thing off. Wait a minite. I wasn't planning on doing this, so I'm like not ready.
Oh, okay. All right. So we can do it, later.
I think I can. Here we go. All right, I'm going to take you off, and I'm going to wrap up the show.
All right.
Thanks,
See you all
Roland.
later.
I'm taking off. I'm going to play it. Okay, thanks for coming, Roland. I'll talk to you later.
You got it.
Bye. Hi, Donna. Oh.
As long as the sun shall glow, as long as the wind shall blow, as long as the stream shall flow, as long as the grass shall grow, this land shall be India. Now as long as the birds shall sing, as long as the deer shall spring, as long as the well is king, as long as our life shall bring this land shall be India.
Oh, hey, hey, oh. Way, hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, ho.
Now as long as the baby is small,
As long
as we all grow tall, as long as we all shall fall, as long as this earth's above this land, This life shall be in the knees and dying. Way hey oh hey ho, 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 way hey oh hey ho.
Okay. Okay. So, whoops, no, wait a second, stop. Okay. No, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that interview and the songs. Oh, thanks, Donna. Cool house. Thank you. Anyway, Roland's an amazing musician. Actually, Pete Seeger said Roland's one of the greatest unknown musicians in the entire world. That's one of Pete Seeger's quotes. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed the interview and the songs. They're amazing. And Tuesday at 4:00, I have Richard Barone, acclaimed musician who was close to Pete. I met Pete through, and I met Richard Barone through Pete and Roland in 2009. And Richard Barone is going to be on my show this Tuesday, 4:00 Eastern time. I'm going to show you the poster really quick. That's Richard. And so Richard will be featured on Tuesday as my second part of my series of people who knew Pete Seeger and work with them and close to Pete. So anyway, I hope you can tune in live or on replay. And I'm on Facebook and YouTube, but I think in May I'm going to start only on YouTube. So I need to start getting people to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And so I hope you can join. And here's if you want to get a mug, one of my Smile mugs to support the Smile Revolution, there's my information. If you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be wonderful. I love you all very much. Be grateful for all the good going on. I know there's still lots of challenges, but there's always good going on. It will help you smile. And I will see you Tuesday. Thanks for watching in live or on replay. Bye. Have a good rest of your weekend. Bye. And share if you like.